The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by next-generation special forces, being led by members of Foxhound. They're demanding that the government turn over the remains of Big Boss, and they say that if their demands are not met within 24 hours, they'll launch a nuclear weapon. You'll have two mission objectives. First, you're to rescue DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the president of Armstech, Kenneth Baker. Both are being held as hostages. Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to make a nuclear strike and stop them if they do.
What's the insertion method?
We'll approach the disposal facility by sub.
And then?
We'll launch a one-man SDV. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim. High-Tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound. Your former unit, and one that I was a commander of.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mattis, with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter. And finally, in charge of them, Foxhound's squad leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake?
The man with the same codename as you. The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by codec after you reach your target.
Anyone going with me?
As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission.
Weapons and equipment OSP?
Yes. This is a top-secret black op. Don't expect any official support.
Metal Gear Solid, one of the legendary games of 1998, and it changed the industry forever. Arguably made Japanese companies hire talented voice actors, because pretty much every Japanese game before this game had terrible voice acting, and just made cutscenes in general a thing. I love it. Easy top 5 game.
How many times have you played it?
Like maybe 9, a lot.
Oh yeah, alright. Is that it?
A normal amount for a game. It's kind of funny. This game, like the reviews at the time were like, obviously an incredible experience, but the one knock they had on it was it didn't have much replay value. It did not apply to me.
Obviously.
Stay alert. It'll be through here. I know it. I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up.
Just as I expected. You'll have to take the elevator to the surface. But make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by codec. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the select button. When we need to contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the select button. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
So this game actually kind of has like 3 intros depending on how much cutscenes you want. There's this after starting the game, which is pretty short actually, like Rhodian gameplay. There's the pre-title screen stuff we watched, which will explain like the scenario. And then there's a long briefing, which is like 16 minutes you can watch in the main menu if you really want to know every details. I kind of like this approach, because later games in the series can kind of have a slow-paced opening with like a 20-minute cutscene before you get to the gameplay. So I like being able to choose it here. Also, we're already in gameplay. This first area has guards in it. Like, I don't even know how to play it. What are the controls? Very in your face. Very stressful. It can actually be challenging.
So the first time you played this game, how did you figure out the controls without dying a bunch?
Dying a bunch? No. Well, there's that little area before, like, where you start the game, you have to crawl under, and you can play around there and figure out, like, what crawls and what punches. But this area's tough. Like, there's guards in it. The opening credits is still going by, like, names are appearing on the screen. Like, I don't know how to play it. Very stressful. And there's, like, water on the ground that if you walk in, it'll make noise, and guards will hear it, and then they can see your footprints and follow you wet feet. So like there's a lot of new mechanics here, and you gotta wait for the elevator to come down and then you can sneak on it.
Oh, so you can't just keep killing guards until you get on the elevator?
Yeah, it's a timed thing.
Well, if you just kill all the guards down there, you don't automatically move to the next phase?
I think if you kill all the guards, the elevator will come down.
Okay.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move.
Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska, you know.
Take it easy, I'm grateful. If it weren't for your suit and your shot, I would have turned into a popsicle out there.
An anti-freezing peptide, Snake. All of the genome soldiers in this exercise are using it.
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going?
2 F-16s just took off from Galena and are headed your way. The terrorist radar should have already picked them up.
Behind D. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea, but it looks like our little diversion got their attention. Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed. There are only 18 hours left until their deadline. You've got to hurry.
Wow, you must be crazy to fly a hind in this kind of weather.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry. I haven't introduced you two yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist. She designed your codec, as well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
You're just flattering me.
No, I'm serious. Well, I know I won't be bored for the next 18 hours.
Come on. I can't believe I'm being hit on by the famous Solid Snake. But I'm surprised. You're very frank for a trained killer.
Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to learning about the man behind the legend. But first, let me explain about your Soliton radar system. The bright dot in the middle is you, Snake. The red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents their field of vision.
Be careful, Snake. The genome soldiers have highly developed senses of hearing and vision due to their gene therapy. Make sure you don't let them see you.
First, I want you to infiltrate the disposal site and look for the DARPA chief.
The DARPA chief was injected with the same GPS transmitting nanomachines as you.
He should appear on your radar as a green dot.
Get whatever information you can from him about the terrorists. If he's alive, that is.
Snake, your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it.
Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful.
We'll be monitoring your movements by radar, so contact us by codec anytime you want.
Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely.
Seriously, Snake, we're here to back you up, so call if you need some information or advice.
I'm also in charge of your mission data. Contact me if you want me to record your current status. My frequency is 140.96. It's a dedicated frequency for saving data. Don't forget it.
Remember, except for your binoculars, you're naked. You need to arm yourself with whatever weapons you can find.
I remember. First, I'm strip-searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself put in that position.
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
I'll hold you to that, Doctor. By the way, sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach. Thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach acids.
Cigarettes? How are those going to help you?
You never know.
If you want to get in, there's the front door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy.
I can't just knock on the door and ask them to let me in. There's one sentry on the left and one on the right. They're armed with 5.56ers and pineapples.
What about the air duct near the door? There should also be a duct on the second floor.
I can't see it from here.
I'll let you decide the best COA. I'm counting on you, Snake.
So this game has a completely backwards difficulty curve. This
Alright.
area we are in right now is like the largest area, stealth area in the game. It has a bunch of new mechanics. Got those searchlights and cameras and snow. And the first two rooms in this game are actually like really tough.
All right.
A surveillance camera?
And Snake sounds absolutely shocked that a nuclear disposal facility would have a camera lying around. And we got our first
No.
gun. That was easy.
No comment. And now we're not naked, except for the binoculars.
Yep. And cigarettes.
Yeah, and the cigarettes.
Gotta have those. Well, you can see Snake's footprints are left in the snow, and this guard coming up, you can notice that. That's super cool, right? What a detail.
is.
Advanced
It
AI.
is.
Whose footprints are these?
This is like the only guard in the whole game that can see footprints. Like the only time it'll ever come up. Maybe a couple will, but this guy's like the only guy that consistently do that. And they didn't really make his reaction to seeing footprints that smart. He just walks in a square really slowly.
What was that noise? Huh? Whose footprints are these?
You can just
What was
knock
that
on the
noise?
wall to distract him and let him chase your footprints for literally
Whose
forever.
footprints are these?
He'll never
Is it
get
really the
mad
one
and
time
like
it's-
start running.
Is Zero the only time it shows up?
Pretty much. Like there might be
Aw.
another guard or two you can do it on, but you probably won't. But that's like the only guy it really ever happens to, which is really funny because that's like a really famous thing from this game. Like people always make fun of, like bring it up. Like if you bring up Metal Gear Solid, there's gonna be some guy going, "Whose footprints are these?" in the comments, and what was that noise?
Bummer. Yeah, that is really neat.
There's also two ways to go. It's through that cutscene. I'll show off the second way in a bit. But we made it. That call was just Campbell telling us how to crawl, which I know. And here's the other one. Yeah, down here. This one's a lot tougher. I feel like 95% of the people who play this game go the top route. I've never actually done the bottom route in all the times I've played this game. There's like a camera and a guard there. The guard's asleep,
A surveillance camera?
standing up, which I'm very impressed with. Like, I see why these guys got all that gene therapy now. He's holding a gun and sleeping. I'm very impressed.
Mm-hmm. In the middle of Alaska. Don't forget that.
Yeah, they're probably not the most
Snake,
comfortable
your
environment.
mission is to infiltrate, not to fight. Don't let the enemy see you. You didn't waste any time in getting spotted,
Yeah, Camel
did
kinda
you? Too bad. Looks
talk
like your
smack
cover
if
is
you get
blown.
spotted in the first
Proceed
area.
with extreme caution. First, you've got to rescue the DARPA chief. Infiltrate the building in front. Look for some way to get in.
Yeah, so I'm being really cautious here. Just trying to crawl under him. Oh, he's yawning now. Let's wait till he's done yawning. I have no idea how to get in that area. I'm out. See you guys later. That guy was actually
Alright.
about to chuck a grenade in the vent, but the loading screen
A
saved me.
pineapple? Look at
Yes, a
that.
pineapple.
Whoa, wait, don't throw pineapples into the vents?
Yeah, so if there wasn't a loading
Oh.
screen right there, I would have been screwed.
Good to know.
But yeah, it has some tricks. They're easy to make fun of, but they have some cool things to them.
Yeah, like spotting your footprints.
Yeah. Rats.
Snake, this is McDonald Miller. It's been a long time.
Master, what are you doing here?
I quit being a drill instructor, so I moved out here for some peace and quiet. I'm in retirement, just like you. Once in a while, I still help in the Alaskan Scouts.
Passing on the skills to a new generation, huh?
Campbell told me about the situation here. I thought I might be of some use.
There's no one I'd rather have in a foxhole than you.
Well, I know lots about survival in a harsh environment. I've lived in Alaska longer than you, so call me if you have any questions about the flora or fauna out here. My frequency is 141.80. Those mice are Alaskan field mice. Don't worry, they can't hurt you. Wild field mice don't have a thick layer of fat, but they can still survive the bitter winters here without hibernating. They dig tunnels under the snow. That's where they stay warm.
Survival specialists, huh? I should learn from them.
But there's a dark side too. Sometimes the males will kill and eat offspring that's not their own.
To ensure the survival of their own genes, right?
Yeah, pretty brilliant program, huh? If there are mice, that means there must be an exit somewhere. Follow the mice.
So that part about the mice only happens if you take this lower duct, because there aren't any mice in the top one.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, so I've actually don't know if I've seen that before. There's also water in this one, where there's not any in the top vent.
You said this is the first time you've done the bottom one?
I really think it is. It's just too tough to get into.
Oh, Willie Garden, okay.
Yeah. There's not nearly as many vents in this game as Arkham Asylum, but there's a few in the beginning.
I'm sure you don't have to kick them in every time you want to go
Yeah,
through one. Oh,
No button mashing here.
also, that was cool the first few times. Then it got kind of obnoxious.
Oh, and you pop out at the lower level here, so it's actually probably more helpful to take that one because you have less distance to travel.
There you go.
Use the elevator to
Thanks,
change
Campbell. I'm skipping that conversation. I don't respect you.
I like how you're a Black Ops soldier, and he needs to tell you what an elevator is.
Solid Snake is supposed to have an IQ of 180, which is hilarious because, one, that's like an impossible number, and
Okay.
two, he's kind of dumb. But
Alright,
very good stuff
I got
explained
look
on
that
like,
up. IQ of 180.
Like, I think I looked it up one time. I remember in like psych class we were talking about IQ, and like 150 or 160 is like the highest recorded. Also, here's what combat looks like. You die quickly.
Snake, answer me. Snake.
Oh, my bad. I was looking at IQ stuff. It says 1 in 21 million for 180.
Wow, so it has been that high. So here's some alternate dialogue. If you take forever
It's Snake.
in the dock,
I'm in front of the
this will
disposal
happen.
facility.
That took a long time. I guess you're feeling a little rusty.
Don't worry. It's been a while, but it's all coming back to me.
Instead
How's
of
that
the
sequence
excellent
been
Snake,
working out?
age has
Nice
slowed
and
you down
dry,
one
but it's
bit.
a little
That
hard
part
to move.
happens. Which I
Dude,
had to take
Campbell
forever.
is so snappy.
He is not afraid to call you out if he feels your
No,
performance
not
is
at
lacking.
all. Not at all.
And one other thing, as you may have noticed or had a feeling, this is not the first game in the Metal Gear series. This is the first Metal Gear Solid game and the first game most people played, but there's two games in 87 and 1990 for the MSX home computer, which was only released in Japan. And the first game had an NES port, but there's barely any plot in that game.
Oh,
But the second game actually has like a lot of story and characters, and Master Miller and Campbell and Snake obviously all come from that game. So that's why, like the game knows nobody played the other two games,
hmm
but it still references them. I don't know. It's very well
Right.
done. How like you feel like there's a history here. Makes the
Well-
world a little deeper.
it's nice where you come in and then they keep saying things like Foxhound and Genome Soldier.
That's actually new to this game. But yeah, there's just stuff like that. So that's where Master Miller comes from. Him and Campbell were on Snake's support team in the previous game.
Okay.